Okay, let's get started. First of all, you're all aware that I assigned you a lab homework. Okay, now you're aware of it. You have a lab homework which is due Friday night, midnight. So I don't know whether you attended to the TA session, lab session. I think like 10, 15 people attended, and hopefully they will take advantage of that. But we made lab practice questions and their solutions online. It's already on Moodle. And the lab homework is very similar to the lab session, lab practice questions Khan went over in the class. One very important thing is in the lab questions, there are like time value of money questions, but you have to use Excel formulas. We're going to check every entry. So you cannot use your calculator and plug in the numbers. No, the idea is that you're supposed to use the lab formulas, which are, I don't know, PV, FV, rates, whatever. So you check out the lab practice answers, go over all those questions, and then I think you will have no difficulty solving the lab homework. And last week you said, oh, Hocam, please give us more time for the lab homework. We are very busy. That's why I extended the homework. Actually, I assigned the homework for this week. So you will have like 4 entire days, basically. And it shouldn't take more than an hour, like at most 1 hour. Okay. Today, we're going to start talking about bonds, and hopefully you are already very comfortable with time value of money concepts. So the bond valuation part, at least the calculation part, will not be a problem for you. So we are going to start with what bonds are. So basically, bond is a debt instrument. So companies or governments, when I say bond, well, what's a bond? What's the Turkish name for bond? Tahvil. I know. Bond is tahvil, and treasury bills are bono, so which is complete opposite for some reason. But basically, whenever I say bonds, students always think about governments, and they say only governments can issue bonds. No, companies also issue bonds. You know, there are different credit rating agencies. They also rate companies different bonds. So companies may have bonds with different ratings depending on the riskiness of the bonds. So we know that governments or corporations can issue bonds. And those bonds, they're piece of papers, and they're basically debt instruments. So what a company does is they say, okay, I'm selling you this paper for a price. So you're gonna pay me the price, and I'm gonna give you this bond. And on the bond, there's some number. Suppose that it says 100. Let's just write it here. So suppose that this is a piece of paper. This is a bond, and it says 100 TL, let's say. In this case, the company tells you, okay, you can buy this bond from me for some price, and when the bond matures, there is a maturity date on the bonds. So it's, what is today's date? November. Oh, 11 something. Okay. Suppose that this is a 10-year bond, and it's going to mature in November 11th, 2024. So on that date, you're going to get the face value, the price, or the amount of money that is written on the piece of paper. So you pay some price for this bond, and then in 2024, the company pays you $100, 100 TLs, sorry. So the idea is that companies need money, so they borrow this money from you or from different institutions, let's say, using bonds. And the owner of the bond is a debt holder. You're providing debt to the company, so you're a debt holder. So when you have a bond, Are you like a shareholder? Do you own the company? No, there's no ownership in the bond. You're just a debt holder. But as a debt holder, do you have any rules no, not rules? Do you have any priorities, let's say, as a debt holder? What kind of priorities do you have? Huh?
I want to issue that.
So basically, remember from income statement, when you generate some income, we always pay, companies always pay debt holders first, right? Interest payments are important. Debt holders get paid first. So if a company sells you something like this, something like a bond paper, and if the company cannot pay you $100 on 2024, what happens?
You can see that.
You can what?
See that.
You can sue them, yes, but actually they go bankrupt. They have to declare bankruptcy. So for a company not being able to pay debt obligations, it's a big thing. So as a debt holder, you have the priority in the cash distribution. A bond is a debt instrument. That's important. Also, if a company cannot pay off its debt obligations, then the company has to declare bankruptcy. So it's a big deal. Now let's go over some terminologies first, and then we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue with other things. So what is the difference between a note and a bond? Bond is a long-term debt instrument. So its maturity should be more than, let's say, 10 years. It's a long-term instrument. Notes, they can be issued in 2, 3, 5, 10-year terms. So there are notes and there are bonds. Bonds, the maturity is more than 10 years. For the notes, they're short-term debt instruments. The idea is the same. The only difference is the maturity. That's it. And then we have T-bills, for instance, treasury bills. Their maturity is 1 year or less, treasury bills. Şimdi Türkçesine geçince treasury bill'e biz bono diyoruz. Treasury bond'a biz tahvil diyoruz. Just the opposite. Okay, and there are different kind of bonds. There can be bonds which are backed by different assets. Like if they are backed by real estate, then they're called mortgage bonds. So basically it says, if the company says, if I cannot pay off my debt, then you can take this building I have. Okay, so there's some collateral, basically. Or there are collateral trust bonds, and it's secured by a financial asset. So a company can say, if I cannot pay off my debt, then you can use this other financial paper I have, like certificate deposit, for instance. You can have that. So basically, these are giving you some flexibility. So if a company cannot pay off its debt, you can either sell its buildings and then take your debt back. Or if there's collateral trust bonds, then you can use that other financial assets to get back your debt. But in general, in this class, we're going to focus on debentures. These are regular bonds. They're not backed by any securities or any assets or anything. Okay. A bond contract is signed between the debt holder and the bond issuer. It's called bond indenture. And there are some important things related to that. So let's look at this one, if I can open it. Okay. So basically, this is a bond paper. This is from GE's, from General Electric. So basically, let's try to read it. These are really, really nice. Okay, so a couple of things that we need to pay attention to is, so there is this $1,000 on it. This is called the face value of the bond. So basically it says when the bond matures, GE will pay you $1,000. So it's whatever is written on the face of the bond. It's fixed. That's why bonds are called fixed income securities. You know how much money you're going to get. It's fixed income. Okay? You're going to get $100 on this example, $1,000 there. And another thing is, it says this is a 20-year bond. It's also fixed. You know the maturity. And it says due 1976. So it means this was issued in 1956, when my dad was born. So it's a 20-year bond. Okay? $1,000 face value is fixed. This is how much you're going to get in 1976. Other thing that is important is it says, can you read this? It's 3.5%. This 3.5% is the coupon rate on the bond. So basically, let's change it to 1,000. Okay. And this is due, it says May 1st, 1976. May 1st, 1976. This is the maturity date. This is the face value. It says 3.5%, which is the coupon rate. The funny thing is, we don't have it anymore, but actually those bonds had coupons previously. Gazetelerden kupon toplama şeylerinizi hatırlıyorsunuz. Size denk geldi mi o hiç? Bizde çok vardı. Evet, aynen. So basically this says by using this coupon rate, you can calculate how much coupon payment you're gonna get. So which is calculated like this. Coupon payment is equal to face value times the coupon rate. So here, face value is 1,000. Coupon rate is fixed. So in this case, what does it say? 35? Okay. So the frequency of payment, there is some frequency of payments as well. Suppose that this one pays annual coupons. So in that case, you're going to have those $35 coupons on it. So in that time, in 1956, if you had that bond, every year you would clip this coupon, send it to GE, and then GE would pay you $35. Coupon payment. That's why it's called coupon payment. And you know that, so there is some interim payments. In 1957, 58, 59, you get $35 from the company. And on the date of 1976, you're going to get $1,000 from the company. So these are the important things. Face value, as you can see, it never changes. It's written on the bond. The maturity date never changes. It's written on the bond, as you can see. Coupon rate is fixed. It doesn't change. So basically, when you buy this bond for some amount of money, okay, I don't know the price now. It's determined in the market. I pay the price for the bond. I know that every year I'm going to get $35, and I know that when the bond matures, I'm going to get $1,000. Do you have a question?
They still have coupons, right?
Sorry?
They still have coupons with bonds, but it's not just...
Oh, yes. So they don't have the clipping part anymore. But yeah, not all the bonds. There are zero coupon payment bonds as well. No coupon payment bonds as well. But in general, bonds now that governments and companies issue, they have coupon payments. You just don't clip anything anymore. Everything is electronic now. Yes?
So isn't it supposed to be 3,500?
3.5% of 1%.
It's 3.5%.
So this is the annual coupon rate. This is the annual coupon payment. Okay, let's go back now. Okay. So let's read this again. There's the face value, the amount of money you're going to get at the end of the maturity. Coupon rate is written on the bond. It's basically it tells you interim payments you're going to get from the company or from the government. Coupon payments are periodic interest payments, basically. You're getting some money from the company. Suppose a scenario like this. A company tells you, okay, I'm going to sell you this bond for $900, whatever. And in 30 years, I'm going to give you $1,000. So in that case, you might be like, okay, am I gonna wait 30 years to get 1,000 from you? Like I'm gonna give you 900, you're not gonna give me anything for 30 years? I'm not sure. Because of that, companies started giving coupon payments. So you're getting something from the company in the next 30 years. Okay? So you have interim payments. Maturity date is also fixed. It's written on the bond. It never changes. And frequency of payments. In Turkey, we generally have annual payments, but in US, we have semi-annual payments. Every 6 months, you get payment from the company for the bond you hold. Okay, so we're gonna see how our calculations will change. So any questions about the idea of the bond? Did you get the idea? Okay. So basically, if you're interested, if you want to see the cash flows related to the bond on a timeline, it's going to be like this. You're going to buy the bond at time 0 from the company. And then every period, every year or every 6 months, you're going to get some cash flow, coupon payments from the company. And when the bond matures, you're going to get the face value, which is also fixed from the company. So as you can see, this is the cash flows related to a bond. So with your time value of money information, can you calculate or let me ask you, how can I determine the price of a bond? So if I give you something like this, how would you calculate the price of this asset? Huh? Remember the simple rule. The price of any asset is the summation of all the future cash flows related to that investment. So if you have something like this, so if you remove the face value from this timeline, what does it look like? You have fixed payments for a limited amount of time, which is an annuity. So now forget all the coupon payments. You only have suppose that you have only the face value. So it's a lump sum payment you're going to get in the future, right? So there are two separate things that you already know. That's why I said knowing time value of money is very important. So for this one, the price of the bond is present value of all those future cash flows. So the price will be equal to the coupon payment times the annuity part, the present value of the annuity part, with the fixed interest rate and number of payments, plus you're going to get the face value at the end of the maturity. But this is number of payments. It might be different. I thought about it, but. So this is number of payments. If you have semi-annual payments, then you will have more than T, right? This is number of payments. Remember, in the annuity, we always use number of payments. And this is the maturity time. We're going to solve examples about it anyway. But that's the idea. So you have the annuity part and you have the face value part. But the idea is the same. Calculate the present value of all the future cash flows. That's the same thing we're going to use in the common stock valuation. The idea is always the same. Use the present value to calculate price, find the present value of all the future cash flows. Any questions about the intuition behind that? No? Okay. So basically, as I said earlier, to calculate the price, we are using the present, we are calculating the present value of all the coupon payments and the par value or the face value you're going to get at the maturity. Par or face value is the same thing. Okay, let's try to calculate the price of this bond. What is the price of a 9% annual coupon bond with a par value of 1,000 that matures in 3 years? Assume a required rate of return of 4%. Let me give you just 2 minutes, at least write down the formula, and let's see whether you're able to read how a bond question is written. So it says it's a 9% annual coupon bond with a par value or face value of 1,000 that matures in 3 years. So right.
2 years olabilir mi?
Efendim?
3 years olabilir mi?
Ha.
10 yıl.
Not mu yazsa daha iyi olur diyordum.
Yok hani merak ettim.
Biz hep bond diyoruz.
Annual coupon.
O çok daha inanılmaz spesifik ayrıntı olarak ilk slaytta vardı, doğru haklısın.
Annual coupon bond dediği şey coupon rate mi?
Diyor, devam et, sorunu tamamla. Annual diyor, evet.
Ona mı eşit oluyor? Yani coupon rate'e mi eşit oluyor? Yoksa
Ne?
R'ye mi? %9
Kup-
annual coupon bond dediği şey coupon rate'e mi eşit?
Harikasın, aynen öyle. Aynen öyle, çok güzel. Okurken 9% coupon bond dediğinde o 9% coupon rate. So when it says 9% annual coupon bond, that 9% is the annual coupon rate on the bond. And you know how to calculate coupon payment. Okay, so how do we solve a question like this? First, I need to calculate the coupon payment. How am I going to calculate the coupon payment? It's very simple. Okay, so basically, annual coupon payment is equal to coupon rate times the face value. So it says 9% bond, so that 9% should be the coupon rate. And face value, if in the question we don't say anything, always take face value is 1,000. If the question doesn't say anything, face value is always 1,000. So from here, 90 will be the annual coupon payment. And this is an annual bond anyway. So basically the cash flow line will look like this. So you're going to get 90, 90, 90. And at maturity, you're going to get 90, the last coupon payment, plus 1,000, the face value. And it says, now we need to discount all those cash flows, bring them to time 0, because I'm interested in the price. In that case, what do I need? I need a discount rate. That's also important. The discount rate you use is not 9%. That 9% is the coupon rate. You only use it to find the coupon. That's it. You use it one time to find the coupon payment. That's it. The discount rate you're going to use is, for the bond, it's called yield to maturity. In this question, it's 4%. And it's actually determined in the economy. Okay, so yield to maturity will be 4%. With these, let's not write it. So you're going to discount all those cash flows with 4% yield to maturity, the discount rate on the bond. And this way you can calculate the price of the bond. So the price is 11.38 in this example. Does it make sense for you to pay 11.38 knowing that you're going to get 1,000 in 3 years? Does it make sense? So you're paying 11.38 for a bond which will pay you 1,000 in 3 years. Does it make sense for you to pay 11.38 for this bond?
Of course.
Why?
Coupon.
Because you're getting the coupons, okay? Whether it's a good investment or not depends on the riskiness of other assets in the economy as well. But you know that with this bond, if you buy this bond today and hold it for 3 years, you're going to get those interest payments, plus you're going to get the face value, and all those cash flows basically gives you 4% return, right? This discount rate you use is your required rate of return as well. Do you remember those terminologies as well? Okay, so we're going to talk more about this. But basically, this is a 4% investment for you. So if you think that equally risky you can find equally risky investment which will provide you 5% return, go with that one. If you think that no, 4% is good for this investment, stick with this one.
When the coupon rate is greater than the rate of return, wouldn't be always the case, you know?
Yes, and thank you. Yes, I'm going to spend like 10 minutes trying to explain this concept later, but I'm not going to go into that as of now, but you're totally correct and way ahead of us. Thank you. We will talk about this later anyway, so I'm not going to talk about it now. Let's try to understand the basics well, and then we're going to continue. This is the same thing with bond price. This is the annuity part and the face value part, the one I wrote here. So I'm going to skip this as well. It looks confusing. It's not. And for the same question, a 3-year bond with 9% coupon rate, you can also use the formula we have. So this is coupon payment 90. This is the PVFA part with 4% interest rate and 3 payments. And this later part is the $1,000 face value, and you're discounting it by 4% interest rate. So this is exactly this thing. So of course, for the bonds, we are not going to calculate the cash flows individually. We're going to use formulas, because if you have a 30-year bond, are you going to discount cash flows 30 times? No. You're going to use the formula. Okay, so do you have any questions about calculations of price of bonds? You get the basic idea? Now I'm going to make it one step more difficult. So as I said, frequency of payments is also determined in the beginning. So when you buy the bond, you know how frequently you're going to get the interest payments. As I said, in US, we generally have semi-annual payments, semi-annual coupon payments. So you get something every 6 months. And let's see what we need to do if we have a situation like this. PK Inc. issues 10% bonds with 20 years to maturity. Similar bonds have a YTM of 11%. What is YTM? Yield to maturity. So it's a discount rate on the bond. And as I said, it is determined in the economy. It says, oh, similar bonds have a YTM of 11%, then this PK Inc. should also have 11% yield to maturity. Remember, risk determines the rate, basically. What is the price of the PK Inc. bond if coupon payments occur annually? What is the price of the PK Inc. bond if coupon payments occur semi-annually? So first, could you at least write down, find the coupon, annual coupon payment, write down the formula, so this basic formula, and see whether you're able to read the question clearly. Then we're going to solve it, then we're going to do the semi-annual part. And I can take the attendance sheets if everybody signed. Okay, so how do you write this? Let's use this part. Okay. So it says it's a 10% bond. What is that 10%? Just write down what you know first. What is the coupon rate? Coupon rate? 10%. So this is the annual coupon rate. On the bonds, you always find annual coupon rates. So from, and then what do I know? I know YTM is 11%. How many payments do I have? 20. What else? Face value. As I said, if it doesn't say anything, face value is always 1,000. What do I need? I need the coupon payment. How do I calculate the coupon payment? So for the coupon payment, you do coupon rate times the face value. So for this example, 10% is the coupon rate, face value is 1,000. So what is the coupon payment? $100, right? Okay, so in the first part it says, what is the price of this bond when you have annual payments? Okay, so basically it should be price is equal to, you have $100 coupon payment times, let me write PUFA for abbreviation. What is the yield to maturity? Annual yield to maturity is 11%. How many payments do I have? 20. Plus, at the maturity, you're going to get this $1,000 with 11% YTM. And you're going to get this at the 20th year. So if you do this, the price will be $920. So this is when you have annual payments. Yes? Because we always use the discount rate. And discount rate for the, right, this is R, comma, N. R for bonds is yield to maturity. Yield to maturity is the discount rate we are going to use on the bonds always. So this coupon rate, we only use coupon rate for coupon payment calculation. That's it. That's really important. Bir de Türkçe söyleyeyim. Coupon rate'i sadece ve sadece kupon ödemelerini hesaplarken kullanıyoruz, sonra unutuyoruz. Sonra yield to maturity kullanmamız gerekiyor. O R kullanıyoruz ya. Bono için yield to maturity. Yani onun adı, Bono'nun yield to maturity, Bono'nun discount rate'inin adı yield to maturity. So, any questions in the annual payment part? If everything is semi-annual, what do we do? So we need to make some adjustments, okay? This is important. If you have semi-annual payments, then things will change. So first, I know that annual coupon rate is 10%. How do I calculate semi-annual coupon payments? Aynen. Divided by 2. So semi-annual, let me write it here. Semi-annual coupon payment is equal to coupon rate times face value. This is annual coupon rate. This is face value, it's fixed. You divide it by 2. So basically, coupon payment will be 100 over 2, 50. So every 6 months, you're going to get $50. This is the first adjustment. Do we need to change face value? No, it's fixed. Number of payments. How many payments we have now? N is 20 times 2, it is 40 now, because you have same payments every 6 months. Perfect. The same idea. When we, remember I said, match your interest rate with your payment period. Do you remember that? Do you remember me saying that? Then you weren't following me. Always match your interest rate with your payment period, right? Since you have 6 months periods, you need 6 months yield to maturity. Very simple. Now use you need semi-annual YTM. So it's going to be 11%. 11% over 2, so it's going to be 5.5%. So for the adjustment, what did we do? We calculated the semi-annual coupon payments. We calculated semi-annual YTM, and we adjusted number of payments so that we have semi-annual payments.
Shouldn't we adjust that so that we compound the interest and it will be 11%? Not like this.
No. So you cannot use $100 and effective annual rate. Is this your question?
Yes.
No, because you're getting 50 and 50. You're not getting hundreds at the end of the first year. Right? Your pay, it will give you something similar, but the intuition will be incorrect. Because realistically, in real terms, you're getting $50 first and then another $50. So, as I said before, match your interest, match everything according to your payment period. So this time, how am I going to calculate price? I have $50 payments. What is my interest rate now? I have $50 semi-annual payments, so I need 5.5% semi-annual yield to maturity. How many payments do I have? 40. At the end of the maturity time, I'm going to get 1,000. But since here I kind of have semi-annual compounding, we're going to stick with semi-annual YTM. So I'm going to use the semi-annual yield to maturity with 40 years. Hocam bunu $1 için mi yaptık? Yes. But the idea is important. Olsun. Ayrıntılar önemlidir arkadaşlar. No, seriously, like this is how you're supposed to solve this. Because you have semi-annual payments, things change. Okay. Any questions about the adjustment with semi-annual and annual thing? Okay, I want to go over this since we started late. I want to go over this and then we are going to take a break. This is kind of confusing. Okay, this is the American system. When you open Wall Street Journal, you can see the bond prices of the Treasury, let's say. So this is a sample form for Treasury bond quotes for May 14, 2010. So in May 14, 2010, you look at the Wall Street Journal, you see those quotes. So you have different bonds with different maturities. Remember, we're in 2010. So here the maturity is 2012. Here it is 2040. So basically this is a 2-year bond, this is a 3-year bond, 4-year bonds, 10-year bonds, blah, blah, blah. So you see the maturities. Then you have the coupon rates. Remember, those are also fixed. You know the coupon rates for different maturity bonds. We have the bid price and ask price. As you can see, ask price is higher than the bid price. So if you want to buy this bond, which one are you going to pay? Bid price or ask price? You're going to pay the ask price, high one. You're gonna pay this one. And another question. Can you sell a bond you own before maturity? Yes, very good. So if you want to sell the bond, then you can sell the bond at the bid price. But in that case, let's say this is the price the government wants from you. The difference between bid price and ask price is called bid-ask spread. And the riskier the paper is, the higher the bid-ask spread will be. And here we have the yield to maturities. Yield to maturities are given for equally risky investment opportunities as well. So for this bond, for instance, an equally risky bond or asset would give you 0.78 yield to maturity. Because of the riskiness of this bond, this also gives you 0.78% yield. So from here, suppose that we pick this one. Let's focus on this one. So what is the coupon, and suppose that these are annual, they have annual payments. What is the coupon payment for this bond? Annual coupon payment. Bunu hemen söylemeniz lazım. This is the coupon rate. Face value is 1,000. What is the annual coupon payment? 36.25. This is a 3-year bond. So for 3 years, you're going to get 36.25, 36.25. And then at the maturity, you're going to get 1,000. So this is the cash flow, how the cash flow will look like. When you calculate the price, present value of all those cash flows, it should be equal to what? Huh? It should be equal to something on the table. Neye eşit olmalı? So if you calculate the price, then it should be equal to 36.25 times, what is the ask yield? 1.1, okay. 1.23 is the yield to maturity. I have 3 payments plus 1,000. That's right, PUVA for this one. Okay. Let's calculate the price. Şimdi buradan bir şey çıkacak da o yüzden bunu yapıyorum. Hocam ne yapıyorsunuz burada? Okay, so let's calculate the price. No, 1.23%, 3 payments. Değil mi? Okay, so it is series talking. That's the price. That's the price. Look at the table. It says 107. Onda 2 nokta üst üste neydi? Söylesenize. Okay, so the price should be like this. But when you look at the table, that's something very funny. This is what Americans do all the time. The price is written like this.
Percentage.
Ay o bile değil. Çok komik. The way they write it is basically they write this in 32s. So basically it's something like this. It's 107% plus 01 over 32, which is a fixed number, percent of face value. I know, huh? The price. So if you do 1 over 32, it is 0.03, something like this. It's close enough. Probably it's rounding. So this part will be 0.03125. So if you add those two things, it's going to be basically 170 points. I have it here. Okay. So why do they do this? I have no idea, but they use Fahrenheit and miles and everything. Everything is different. But this is how they write it, okay? The idea is this. This is what they're doing, okay? So it's probably the rounding and the yield. Ask yield is not exactly 1.23. That's the thing probably. But basically, it's going to be 1 over 32th of the face value. So together, the price will be determined like this. But you got the idea here, right? That's the important part. And this is in case you're in US and you work in US, you should know how to use the bond valuation. That's it. Okay. If you don't have a question, let's take a break. 45'ta buluşuyoruz arkadaşlar.